Hey, how's it going, everyone? So, as some of you may know, I am Austin Torres. I am the gentleman who is uploading tons of fishing video. I wanted to touch base with you guys on this past event for Lake Shasta. How do we start? So, besides the complications that I had from the very first beginning of the pre-fish, as you guys saw, that was just an obstacle that I wasn't honestly prepared for. But I did learn a lot from that. What I learned is, before these type of tournaments, if you're really serious about going out there and being focused, make sure you invest the time in your kayak. You want to make sure if you have those type of tires for, like, say, this native sidekicks, if your airs are inflated all the way so you don't have any issues, you want to tighten down all your bolts and nuts on everything on your kayak to make sure you don't have any type of issues. And especially check your cable lines for your rudders and your other important systems that might actually be very crucial for you to staying consistent in the contingency of being in this type of tournament. Let's focus on what it took to actually get up there and to be prepared for this type of event. These type of tournaments, I've done them before once, last year at Clear Lake for the California Bass Nation Kayak and the Wild West Bass Trail, which was a dual event also. I had the opportunity to go up there with a good brother of mine, and we pretty much split up our time and managed it as effectively as we could. So we had a great time out there. You know, we had somebody we can rely on, depend on, but I gotta give you some advice that if you go out there by yourself, you might want to make sure you cover all grounds. You want to make sure you have your food in order. You want to make sure you have all your rehydration, all your bait, your tackle, your gear, especially your kayaks, your trailers, your vehicle, depending if you're taking a trailer up there or you're putting everything in the back of the truck. Overall, make sure all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. Because when it comes to these kind of events, you don't want to waste time, as I did, with dealing with, say, a broken line or a broken rudder or something breaking off or loose. You have to be prepared for these type of elements. So if there's one key aspect I take from it is have extra parts. Use your best judgment. But I would highly suggest that if you were to go into the 2-day tournament, to please make sure you invest some time. Take your kayak before the tournaments, say 1 week or 2 weeks before. I would suggest 2 to give yourself some buffer time to, say, Headwaters Adventures Kayaks, which is located in Redding, and also with Lodi Paddle Sports, which also has great service and great quality work out there. So let's move forward. A lot of other anglers have already uploaded and posted their videos, and I would suggest that if you are trying to get into these type of events, to watch them, listen carefully, and follow them. Not just them, but the previous year or the following week before the main event. Because as we all know, the showdown that they had at Shasta, which was brought to you by Super Clean and the Wild West Bass Trail, they gave a lot of key information, such as what type of baits were working, the type of presentation, the speed, the cadence of how everything was being brought in. Now, let's go forth and what I did try. I went forward straight with confident baits. I'm very confident with the drop shot. Quite honestly, it tends to get a little boring because it's so easy and consistent. It's not as exciting as using a crankbait or a jerk bait or even a rig, Alabama rig, or jigs. A lot more movement that is involved. I want to say that I went with that because I wanted to put numbers into the game for myself. I wanted to get on the board. But however, one part where I failed deeply was I didn't slow down. As you can see, yeah, I covered a lot of ground when it came down to which areas I was trying to target, but however, that negatively affected me. Why? Because of me not slowing down, I could have been dropping smaller jigs or bigger 3/4 ounce jigs, slowly playing them back towards the kayak. On the first official day, I went to an area where I knew I was producing good catches. So I stayed in that area and I noticed something. The moment I slowed down is when I was getting a lot of more consistent bites. There was a ton of short strikes from whether it would be bass or whether it was trouts or possibly other types of species. But however, the one key element is slow down. I think honestly, if I would have slowed down and stayed more consistent with the jigs and other types of baits, I would have had a better outcome than I did this time. So for the second day, honestly, I'm quite embarrassed of the second day because the second day, most of my videos that I upload, I tend to make them 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes long because I get a lot of content to work with. And on this video, it's going to be very short. The reason I say it's going to be very short is because I covered almost 10 miles again. Because I was thinking that it was better for me to cover more ground to possibly follow these fish than to actually slow down and focus on key elements such as points or different types of transitions and depths that you can only see marked on the fish finder. Now, the best part about the second day was the ending. And I say that not just because it was a long haul and the time was over, but I got to see a lot of other kayak anglers come out and support each other. And even at one point, I got a chance to meet in person one of the anglers who actually took the win, Chase Murdock. And you can actually follow him. I will post here in the description at the bottom of this YouTube video. He also did an interview with Paddle and Finn. You can also follow that podcast too, and you can find out some of the key aspects that he used and focused on, such as following the previous Wild West bass trails on the bass boats and taking their advice for some anglers such as Greg Gutierrez, or previous yearly events within the same time frame and weather conditions. Want to thank you all for coming out this far and to getting a chance to view what I produced. And I want to ask you a big favor. A lot of this content that I produce is pretty much based on my own personal time. And honestly, I love doing it. And I don't know if it really comes out in the content and the way I present it and show it to everyone, but I really enjoy trying to bring highlights and making this feel like a little bigger event than it really is for some. But if you could do me a big favor, leave a like on this video, and maybe other ones if you do like them, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. But most importantly, enjoy the video footage. If you think this is share worthy, meaning you can post it out into, say, I don't know, a Facebook, social media, somewhere where you have a deep group following, say within other anglers in the sport, whether it be from kayak or bass boat or any type of bass fishing experience, please share it. It would help me out a lot, and again, refuels my creativity to know that I am reaching a bigger audience. Now, I am not trying to become like a retiree off of this. Again, I just do this purely out of the fun and joy that I get out of, presenting this to you. My overall goal here for this channel is to just share experiences of what it's like to do these type of events, and also things to be on the lookout for and to prepare. One segment of series that I'm considering of producing is what it takes to work with Tourney X. What type of involvement is needed, in example, with submissions, with working with the tournament directors and the people and the judges, and how to follow up and registering with Tourney X and the rules and violations and regulations when it comes to this. I think this would be beneficial for everyone to understand what is currently involved, especially for new anglers. As you know, this sport is slowly starting to grow back. As COVID-19 restrictions are lifting, I'm starting to see a lot more people, new faces, come into the environment. If you like what you see, leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me and help me produce more of these and give me that energy and fuel knowing that I'm reaching my audience. I want to thank you guys for your time, and I hope you enjoy the footage that I present to you again. And again, I apologize. This is probably going to be the shortest video that I've ever done for the last and final day, but I made the best of it. So I don't want to waste up too much of your time. You guys enjoy the show. Yeah, tight lines, and don't forget to subscribe.